Translations. A translation is a very specific type of transformation or change to a figure. A transformation changes a figure into another figure. The new figure is called the image. So any transformation gives us two shapes, our original, and then the new shape is called the image. A translation is a transformation of a figure in which the figure slides but does not turn. Every point moves the same distance and direction. So you may have in earlier grades done slides. Officially, we call those translations. And if you think about translating Spanish to English, it's the same thing. It's just kind of moved in its language. All right, let's do some work with translations. Tell whether the black figure is a translation of the red figure. So again, we just want to slide, we just want to move it. They're congruent figures. So they're still the same shape and they're still the same size as each other. So I have these two figures here. So I have a red arrow. This is the shape. I have a black arrow. The only thing that's happened to this figure is that it has moved on the board. It is the same shape. It is the same size. So yes, this is a translation because it's simply moved. Nothing else has changed about it except where it is. B, we have two figures here. They're clearly the same figure, except there is not just a move. This one has actually flipped around. So we've had a different move done onto this. It's not just taking the original and sliding it across the area. So no, this is not a translation. It was a different type of transformation. All right, let's actually make our own translations now. And when we start working with translations, we're going to start working on the coordinate plane. So we should have plenty of graph paper for this. Translate the figure 2 units to the right and 3 units up. What are the coordinates of that image? So we're going to start here with our image that's drawn in black. And we're going to move it 2 units up and 2 units to the right. So every point in this figure needs to move the same distance in the same direction. So 2 units to the right and 3 units up. So I'm going to start with A. I'm going to go 2 units to the right, 1, 2, and 3 units up. 1, 2, 3. There's my new point, my new corner, my new vertex of that shape. Notice that I wrote the letter A with this little kind of, looks like an apostrophe almost in the corner. We read this as A prime. This is our new point for our new image, is what we're talking about. This was the original, this is our image. A prime is a new point in that image. We're going to take B and do the same thing. 2 units to the right, 3 units up. That gives me B prime. And with C, 2 units to the right and 3 units up. That gives me C prime. So notice that the shape looks the same. It's the same size. It's the same shape. It hasn't really changed anything other than where it is. They wanted us to find the coordinates of the image. So A prime is now at 2, 2. B prime is at 4, 3. And C prime is at 1, 4. One more. The vertices of a rectangle are A is 1, 4, B is 3, 4, C is 3, 1, and D is 1, 1. Draw the figure and its image. Remember, the image is that new figure after we've moved it. After a translation, or a slide, 3 units to the left and 4 units down. So we can work with a translation on the coordinate plane, or we can think about it just using its coordinates. So these are all the original coordinates of this rectangle. They asked us to move it 3 units to the left. So the left is a horizontal move, and if we think about our number line, anything going to the left is negative. We're getting smaller and smaller and subtracting when we go to the left, so that's a negative move. So we can take our x value, which is our horizontal axis, and add that move to the x value. We want to go 4 units down. We're on our y-axis when we go up and down. Down is also a negative move. We can add that unit, that distance, to our y value. So let's take a look at our coordinates and just work with the coordinates instead of kind of moving it on the coordinate plane. So my A was 1, 4. So since we're moving 3 units to the left, that's subtracting 3 from the x value. So we're adding a negative to the 3. So I'm going to add negative 3 or subtract 3 from each of my x values so that I move them all the same way. My y move, my up and down, my vertical move is moving 4 down, which again is also subtracting or adding a negative 4 to my y value. So all of my y values, I'm going to subtract 4 from those. So here I come up with my image. the points after I've done this translation. So A becomes negative 2, 0 when I do this math. B prime, A prime is negative 2, 0. B prime is 0, 0. C prime is 0, negative 3. And D prime is negative 2, negative 3. It has asked us to draw that figure, so I should be able to see that figure on the coordinate plane look exactly like the original. So here's my original, A, B, C, D, up here in the first quadrant. And I moved it 3 units to the left, and 4 units down, and there it is. When I graph these coordinates, I come up with a rectangle that is still congruent to the first. It's the same size and the same shape. This is simply a translation on the coordinate plane.